What is going on, everyone? And happy Sunday evening. We are back for another presentation of the No Toad Racing League. Here tonight in the Cup Series, we are at the Nashville Superspeedway. No, it is not a Superspeedway. It's actually more of like a mile-and-a-half slash short track style track. Before we get into the racing, let's actually go over our point standings real quick. These guys are in the seventh race of the season here tonight. Michael Nash, your defending series champ, still leading the way, 25-point lead above Alex Chase. Benjamin Nelson with 4 wins, still sitting 34 points back. Remember, at the end of the season, they will drop the 2 worst races, so it might shake up the point standings a little bit as those races started to get dropped. I got a decent field here tonight, about 20 drivers. I believe our total is 19 in total. Check that real quick. Yeah, we have 19 here tonight. No shocker, Benjamin Nelson has a quick time here in practice. Let's go see what Benjamin Nelson is doing. Actually, right on board. There we go. So, as you can actually already see, I heard from multiple people this track is plowing tight. Benjamin Nelson pulling off. Let's go ahead and ride it with Joseph Wilby here. But let's actually hold down and talk to the professor and get his point of view on this track. Mr. Benjamin Nelson, Professor, what is going on?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, talking to the viewers, talking about how tight this track is. It seemed like watching us practice was more tight off of 4 than it was 2. Why do you think that might be?
It's probably just the way the corner's designed. Seems like it opens up a bit more out of 2 than out of 4, but could be that, could be something else. I'll have to definitely watch out for that, though.
Gotcha, and I know I looked over the notes and said you guys be downshifting in 4. It's not something we see very often at these mile-and-a-half tracks. This ain't your typical mile-and-a-half track, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. These things are real tight right now, so hopefully it frees up, but the shifting helps us get a better drive off.
All right, man, good luck in the race tonight.
Thank you.
We'll wait for some guys to get out there on track. Actually, Michael Nash is out. Let's go ahead and ride on board with your current points leader and your defending series champion. And you can really hear why we were riding on board, him struggling to plant that power because how tight the car is getting. Another interesting thing about this track is it's a bottom feeding track. I was kind of surprised to see Michael Nash take the high line there through 1 and 2. Goes across the first time. We'll actually have to switch our display real quick. Apology for that display, it is not working right. Nash will go P2 currently. Nash is getting some more practice out on track. See how Slider does here. I believe he's on his 2nd lap. But talking to the guys before the race, and one of the main struggle we're going to see here tonight is people get plowing tight as Nelson will go quick time. We'll go over the grid here in a moment while you guys get done qualifying. See if this fixed my... See if this fixed it. No, it did not. Well, SDK is having issues, so we'll be stuck with the ticker for tonight. Which is fine, because I think it looks better anyway. Justin Adams out on track. I was talking to him before, saying he needs to get himself a Gary Sarge Giddy Up drink scheme, and apparently it is in the works, being made right now. So waiting for qualifying to get done. Go over the grid. Actually, you know, while we're qualifying, let's go ahead and look over the race info here tonight. Nope. There it goes. Took a while for it to come up. This is SDK being slow on my computer. There we go. There's the race info. They had this track about a mile and a half long. Really, more of a mile and a third. Temperature outside is 77 degrees. Track temp is a nice, cool 79. One of the reasons these cars are handling so tight. These guys gridded up. Let's actually go over our starting lineup here tonight. So no shocker here. Getting that pole position, Benjamin Nelson. And outside of him, he'll have a familiar face in the form of Johnny Brogan, that one car. Row 2, you have Christian Loxton and Tyler Merritt. Row 3, Alan Slider Dixon and Dayton Taylor. Row 4, your defending series champ, Michael Nash and TJ Warren. TJ Warren was a super close call. He almost hit in the barrels last Monday in the Gen 4 series. Row 5, Jess Traub and Nick Sosha. Row 6, Duke Davis and Matt Forns. Row 7, Justin Adams and Philip Schmidt. Row 8, Joseph Wilby, Michael Giverson. Row 9, Robert Goetz and Mitchell Williams. Round out the field in row 10, Oliver Turan. Mr. Ben will be leading us to green here tonight. Something he's done a good amount this season. Got to have the most poles this season. Got to. Also, Benjamin pouring a new paint scheme out here tonight. Good looking Hendrick Cars paint scheme. You can't get a better look at that. I like that one. Here it is. Really nice paint scheme on the 125 there. So 120 laps of racing is going to be a two-stop race regardless if you guys stay green, and they very well might. They've done it multiple times this season so far. Pit window is the max you can go is about 46 laps. Possibly seeing these guys pit around lap 39, probably 38 to 42, and start seeing guys come in, split this race evenly into thirds. 3 extra sets of tires We got to manage those wisely. Pacer's going to pull off. Nelson Brugg going to lead the field of green here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. 2 by 2 they go. Nelson get a really good jump there. It's going to be interesting to see who has a dominant line. I would imagine it would be the low line. Tyler Merritt struggling a little bit off of turn 2. Going to allow Christian Loxton get a run going down the backstretch. Going to be looking to his inside going into turn 3. Oh, 45 sent it way in there. Actually, the 43 of Taylor. Battle for third right here. These 3 guys going at it. Tyler Merritt started P3, starting to fall back all the way back to 5th already. Christian Loxton up a couple spots already here in this race. If the tower works now. It does. There we go. Loxton going at it. Slider is in a battle with the 55 of Davis. Luke Davis has had a couple good runs here in the Cup Series. I believe he's had 1 or 2 top 3s. This is the big bundle of cars back here. Davis, Sosha, Dixon. And my SDK just crashed. Give me a second while we load that back up. Give me a second. We gotta load SDK back up. It just crashed on me. I apologize for this. This stream is not liking me already. What's going on? Let's go ahead and check out the battle for the lead while I get everything loaded back up for you guys. There we go. Alright, SDK's back up. We are good to go. And 3-1-20. Nelson has that 2/10 gap over Brugg. Taylor sitting in 3rd. Taylor up a couple of spots already from where he started. If he's up 2 spots, no, he's up 3 spots. So Taylor early on making pretty good moves, getting through the field in the early stages of this race. And as these guys start to spread out with how tight this track handles, the chances of a caution grow slimmer and slimmer. Let's go check in on TJ Warren. He's up a couple spots as well. TJ Warren battling out with Christian Loxton. Those guys have had some pretty good battles in both this series and the Gen 4 series. 129 to Nick Sosha sent it in a little deep, almost got in the back of Duke Davis. They're going into turn 1. Tire management is going to be absolute key here. The TJ Warren sent it a little deep. Got a little loose under braking. They had to fight the car a little bit. You can't get the runoff and corner exit. Can't quite get the run. Loxton. We got a big group of cars back here, though. Here you go. TJ to the inside. Duke to the inside. Loxton must have overshot that corner. He's getting really tight. He's in the 3-4 positions in one corner. Loxton goes from about, I would say, 6. No, he went from 7th all the way down to 10th. And he lost another spot to the 23. Lawson losing 4 spots in a matter of a half a lap just from overshooting one corner. Here goes Nick Sosha looking low on the 55 of Duke Davis. Duke might have tagged the wall there on corner exit. That lead's still about 2/10, but we're watching where all the action's at right now. Who is in that 23? Not the extra 23. That's the 84, okay. 84 of Philip Schmidt looking low in the 121. Dixon was looking to put it 3 wide slot otherwise, and here comes the 55 of Duke Davis looking to the outside of TJ Warren. 121 of Sosha tapped the wall there in corner exit coming out of 4. We saw a lot of issues during practice. These guys still going at it. This is just outside the top 10, if not right inside the top 10. Yeah, this is for 10th right here. 9th, 10th, and 11th. Duke Davis still going at it with TJ Warren. Going back to the lead, Brugg has closed that gap down to under a 10th going down the backstretch in the draft of the 125. Brugg going to look low going into turn 3. These two are no strangers to duking it out. They have had some of the closest finishes I have seen on iRacing in the Gen 4 series. Different car, different night, same top 2. Nelson doing a really good job holding that outside line, though. A really good runoff in here. Brugg's going to have to try to get this draft again. And all this batting a lot of that 45 of Michael Taylor, not my bad, Dayton Taylor, to close the gap. Top 4 all under a second. And then how about this? Your defending series champ. He's just inside the top 5. All by himself in that 5th position. No one really behind him. A little under a second gap and a little over a second gap. Back to the lead we go. And if this does stay green, Johnny Brugg, I know we got quite a few laps to go, but when it comes to green flag pit stops, Brugg have to do a really good job getting on and off pit lane, as that's been the one place that Nelson has really excelled and gained a lot of time over that one car in the Gen 4 series on Monday nights. Is coming on and off pit lane. Brugg had to minimize his mistakes coming onto pit lane and get a really good pit lane exit. Looking low, Nelson throwing a little bit of a block. I don't call that a block, but it's just going low with them. Nick Hartman going, woo, woo, go Johnny. And Rocket Man trying to turn himself to a rocket ship yet again here tonight. Merritt starting to fall back a little bit. That gap to Merritt to the leaders now over a 10th. And Dayton Taylor's done a really good job maintaining the gap between the two leaders. Hoping they start battling it out again, but if you can't look at some last lap times, let's go ahead and show the sectors here. A little bit smaller tonight. You're right there. Actually, let me switch that. There we go. So Nelson was about 2/10 quicker that last time by. This time by, Nelson losing 0.12 on that first sector. Once again, for those watching at home, the way the sectors work here in the Oval series, on ovals I should say, is Sector 1 is basically from start finish line to middle of backstretch. Sector 2 is middle of backstretch to start finish line. And if you see the orange, that means the driver was slower. If you see green, that means that driver was faster. So that time by, Nelson lost about a 1/10.5 on that last lap alone. Gains a little bit back here, half a 10th quicker than Brugg in Sector 1. The field's really starting to spread out. Sector 2, Brugg a little bit quicker, but that time by, Nelson was about 3/100ths quicker. keep an eye on that battle for the lead. See a big group of cars back here by Sliders. Go check these guys out. See how Sliders doing. Slider out just outside the top 10. Mitchell Williams is breaking his way into the top 10 here tonight. Mitchell Williams up 9 spots from where he started at, sitting in 10th place. Christian Loxton also starting to fall back quite a bit. Christian started, I believe he started in P3. He was in the second row and he's fallen back all the way to 13th. He's down 9 spots from where he started. Christian struggling a little bit here on the long run. I don't believe he has any damage. Not seeing any damage to the right rear. Ah, he did tag the wall once or twice. The right front. Can't really see something. Oh, he almost tagged it there again. Kind of scanning the field looking for some battles. EJ Warren, going back to him, he was battling out pretty well. He's now sitting pretty good in the top 10, up 1 spot from where he started. Lap 23. 120 green all the way so far. That gap's starting to grow a little bit between the two leaders. Pull back up the sectors yet again. Nelson really starting to put a gap on that number 1 machine of Johnny Brugg. Also, another thing I've been keeping an eye on is Michael Nash in that 60 machine. He has been slowly but surely chasing down Merritt. Tyler Merritt in that 53 Monster Energy scheme. Sector 1, Merritt a little bit slower. See what Sector 2 is looking like here. Merritt blinking down a little bit, going down the front stretch. Tyler Merritt losing almost a whole 10th and a half that last lap by. Merritt starting to struggle as Michael Nash starting to look really good. I mean, even if he does get on Merritt, he has a lot of ground to make up. But look at that run down the backstretch. Merritt's much got into the wall coming off the corner exit. Nash going to look low going into 3. Nash is going to get by him. That was probably the easiest pass Michael Nash could have had. Let's go back and watch what happened. Coming out of... Go ahead and ride right behind the 53 machine. I don't know if he tagged the wall or what. He was really slow going down the backstretch there. And he tagged a little bit right there. I think Nash just had a really good run off the corner. I mean, it didn't look like anything would have caused him to slow down significantly like what he did. We go back to the professor himself, Benjamin Nelson, still maintaining the 3/10 gap over the 1 machine of Johnny Brugg. The field really starting to spread out. Not too many battles going on for position. Really, most of the battle has been going on around the 33 of Dixon. Dixon finally cracked himself into the top 10. Finally able to get around Mitchell Williams. This guy looking to probably pit in 10 to 12 laps here. Should be interesting to see who decides to come down pit lane first. Who tries a short pit strategy. While we're actually going ahead and ride on board, let's ride on board with Mr. Brugg. Get an idea how tight this track is handling right now. Only 29 lap old tires. You can just hear them Goodyear tires screaming while they're rolling through the center of those corners. Brugg doing everything he can to maintain that gap. He's actually closing that gap a little bit here right now. One thing I did notice right there is Brugg shifted down really late. He's shifting down really late. I wonder if Nelson's shifting down any differently. Let's go ahead and ride over with Nelson, see how he's shifting. And that's what makes these next gens so interesting. It's so much different to race. As a matter of fact, you can use that transmission to slow you down. Like you see, Nelson's shifting down really early, letting that RPMs really slow that car down, help him roll through the center of the corners. Brugg's shifting a little bit later than he is. And he's the one redlining that. '53 of Mary is in the pits. Well, that can't be a scheduled pit stop. Maybe it is. Let's go back a lap. Oh, go to Tyler. Go back a lap before you enter pit lane. Let's see if you had any issues or if that was a scheduled pit stop for him. I'm not seeing no issues for Merritt there. Must have just been scheduled. He must be really short pitting it. Interesting strategy there by the 53 of Tyler Merritt. As Giberson and Willoughby are going at it. Dixon got her on Duke Davis for P8. These two are driving. These three have been going at it really all race long. Dixon, Mitchell, and Davis. Davis getting her back around Dixon, but Dixon has that high line advantage. Getting a good run off here, and he'll be back ahead of Duke Davis going into turn 3. Still no other takers on pit lane. Tyler Merritt, your first one to come to pit lane. Mitchell Williams able to get around Duke Davis as well. Dixon starting to make his way through the field. Dixon started P5, fell back outside the top 10. Starting to make his way back up. Still down 3 spots from where he started, but pretty good recovery if you ask me. Here comes the 18 of Joseph Willoughby. Joseph Willoughby entering pit lane. At the time we're going to start seeing people follow along. Nelson with the gap he has, that 1.05 second gap, he can stay out there a little bit longer. As last time by, I know my STK crashed a couple laps and it was a 30.94 for Brugg, 30.77 for Nelson, and their fastest time by. So they're running a little under a second slower than what they were to start this run. So if Brugg were to pit, Nelson knows, okay, I can stay out one more lap. Maybe two with how quick Nelson can get on and off pit lane. And here comes Brugg this time by. Ronnie Brugg and that one machine coming to pit lane. Gonna surrender second place for the time being to Dayton Taylor. Duke Davis in the pit lane as well. See if Nelson comes by this time. No, Nelson's choosing to stay out one more lap. Nelson finally got his first win last Monday in the Gen 4 series, and he said one of his biggest issues with Gen 4 has been tire strategy. Talking to Ben before this, he's never ran this car track comp before, so I'm wondering what's going through his head now. When does he want to come to pit lane? Does he want to risk staying out too long? I mean, these guys are so spread out. I don't see a caution happening, and here he comes this time by. Oh, a little sketchy there. 43 of Dayton Taylor going to come to the lead and get himself a bonus point for lead on lap. What Michael Nash in 60 does. Michael Nash staying out as well. What Jess Traub staying out. Green flag pit stops are underway. Goats in the pit lane as well. Giberson's been in pit lane for a while. I believe he might have been caught speeding. Sosha in the pit lane. Pit lane is a busy place right now. Here comes some more people. Dayton Taylor entering pit lane. Here comes Michael Nash. So everyone's coming to pit lane. Get the 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Let's see where Brooks going to blend out in relation to Nelson. That gap was about a second. Even with staying out the extra lap, actually 2 laps really, Nelson's still able to maintain that 1 second lead. Actually, as I say that, he's coming on to Benjamin Nelson right now. Traub's going to pit lane. That's going to hand the lead over to TJ Warren. TJ Warren getting himself a lap led here tonight. You got to wonder what's going through these guys' heads, knowing how clean this series can go and how long the green flag runs can go. Do you stay out and hope for a caution at a track like this where it's not really a loose handling track? You're plowing tight, but do you risk staying out, lose a lot of track position, or do you come to pit lane when the window opens? The window is about 46 laps, so TJ Warren can go a couple more laps. The question is, does he want to? Here comes a 48, Justin Adams. He's coming to pit lane. TJ Warren staying on another time by 44 of 120. Big shout out to TJ Warren, by the way. He's one of the guys that always lets me know what the fuel window's looking like, and the reason I knew what tonight was looking like. The 45, technically the 20, the 43 of Dayton Taylor getting his lap back. Well, we got a good green flag run. Let's actually go ahead and look at the pit length here. Gives you an idea on who pitted when. Tyler Merritt pitting early like he did. Actually might have gained him some spots. He was starting to fall back. Now going to be sitting P3 once all the pit cycles are done. Still waiting for Mitchell Williams and TJ Warren to come to pit lane. Nelson out there on 2-lap newer tires than Brugg. Speaking of those two, let's go see how those two are doing. Everyone else kind of on the same pit strategy. Here comes Mitchell Williams in pit lane. And TJ Warren. So that's going to cycle the lead back to the 125 Professor. The Professor. Benjamin Nelson back to the lead. But Nelson back to the lead. Tyler Merritt back into the top 3. Dayton Taylor in 3rd. And Michael Nash in 5th. Or Dayton Taylor in 4th. Michael Nash in 5th. These guys start to spread out. It's going to be harder to find battles out there on track. Back here to Joseph Wilby. Looks like he has some traffic behind him in the form of Matt Fornes and Christian Loxton. Both those guys on the lead lap. I think, oh yeah, this is for position right here. This is for 10th. Matt Fornes might have given a little bit of bumper to the 18. He's going to wash up the track once it's center of the turn. Going to lose the spot to the 3 of Loxton as they go down the backstretch. Christian Loxton trying to make his way back through the field. Like I said, he started towards the front. He's down 7 spots from where he started at. He's trying to make his way back up to where he started, and it's going to be a long way to go for him to do that. That gap for the lead now down. Now up to 3/10 of a second as Johnny Burke's starting to fall back from the professor. And I'm kind of curious how this is going to work out for TJ Warren. He stayed out longer. Getting loose on entry. How much of an advantage are those newer tires going to be? As TJ is sitting in 14th. So everyone else around him, they're on about 9 lap older tires. Kind of curious what the fall is going to be. Take a quick look at the weather, see what the track temp is. Apologies, I'll fix that. Track temp is at 80 degrees. So track temp's still pretty cool, hasn't fallen off too much. I think it actually went up a couple of degrees since we went racing. Joseph Willoughby starting to fall back a little bit. Joseph was running 10th last time we checked on him, now falling down to 12th. And threat losing another spot to Sosha and Warren. Warren's going to look to the outside of Sosha. Couldn't quite get the run. I think he might could try to pass one outside here. Can't get the entry he wants. He'll lose a lot of ground on the corner entry there. Oh, almost contact. Willoughby and Sosha. Sosha doing a really good job backing out of that. He's going to lose a spot to Warren because of it. It looked like Willoughby just checked up a little bit sooner than Sosha thought he would. And almost got in the back of him because of it. And that's one of the great things about this No-Toe Racing League is these guys will race hard from green to checkered. But there's so much give with all the take. Like the perfect balance. Willoughby's breaking point is really making these guys behind him struggle. There was another close call there. It was TJ Warren as they entered the corner. Too much ground TJ makes up. TJ might be getting a little bit loose in corner entry. Let's actually ride on board as TJ here. See how that car is entering as he's entering the corners. Handling. Actually. Correction. We got to go to the battle for the lead. It's starting to heat up now. Johnny Brugg is on 2 lap older tires and he just can't get that pass done. Nelson is such a hard guy to pass. Even when Brugg runs the preferred line here, which is the bottom line, he just cannot get the drive off. Nelson's come up on another lap car, the 194 of Michael Giberson. I mean, interesting to see how much of a fight the 194 puts up trying to stay on the lead lap. That might have been why Brugg caught up. Nelson might have got stuck behind lap traffic. Yeah, I think that is why Brugg's catching up. Nelson getting stuck in lap traffic, but after this guy, after Giberson, he got about, I would say a corner to the next guy, but Nelson's about to come across a lot of lap traffic. You see on the track map there, he's going to be coming up on 3 or 4 guys, maybe even 5 guys. There might be a number hidden I can't see. And he's going to catch him before they have to pit again. For sure. Wonder what happened to 6 to TJ when we were on him last. At least he's battling out for 10th. He's fallen back to 12th. He's lost a spot. Quite a bit of ground to spot in front of him. Let's check for damage on this car. Not a lot of damage. Wonder what happened to TJ Warren. See if I can't see when he got passed for 12th. Here it is right here. Let me see if something happened here, TJ. I was coming out of pits. Huh. I don't know. Oh, that went for P11. Rogue's starting to struggle a little bit. Mitchell Williams is on some newer tires, though. He did run that tank completely dry before he came to pit lane. A gap now to about a second between the 125 and 1 machine. Halfway through the race so far, green all the way. As it's gonna be interesting to see when Nelson catches the 77, 121, 18, how he handles his lap traffic. I want to say the 16 of Williams is about to get his lap back the hard way. Nelson is your current leader. Bruggs sitting P2. P3, you'll have the 43 of Dayton Taylor. Dayton Taylor doing a really good job here tonight. Been really sitting inside the top 5 since the start of this race. I believe started inside the top 5. No, he started P6, so just outside the top 5. Made some good moves on the first couple laps, gained some spots, and hasn't looked back since. You got P4, Tyler Merritt, who short pitted the whole field by a good 6 or 7 laps. And in the meantime, it has paid off. Granted, he does have to go probably about 15 to 20 more laps for his next pit window. You gotta pit with at least 40. I would probably say the first time we might see someone come in is that lap 75 or 76. From there, you will be good. And I'm predicting Merritt's going to be the first one to come to pit lane again. Back to your leaders. Luke Davis is coming to pit lane on the access road. That's interesting. I don't know if you realize you don't got to take the access road. Huh. That car behind Nelson is not for position as a lap car as Goat's going low for Nelson. Is Goat's going to take the access road as well? No, he was just going low for Nelson. I thought Nelson was going to catch these guys before he came to pit lane, but he might not. Nelson probably can pit here in about 13 to 15 laps. Rogue's starting to fall way back. Rogue, that gap now 2.3 seconds. But while we got this long green flag run, let's go ahead and go over your scheduled events here for the next week or so here in No Toad. So next week we are off. Next week both series is off. The only series running next week is an expedition race in the Gen 4 series, which will be the 3rd. As far as tomorrow night goes, you got the Gen 4 series going to New Hampshire, as that's going to be interesting, as I had just raced the next gens there a couple weeks ago, and it was a really loose track. I'm kind of curious to see how the Gen 4s will handle there. As spoiler alert to the race, Ross Chastain has collected its, I think, first victory of the season. Just went to my Internet Explorer and Chastain was doing burnouts. Keep an eye on pit lane. I'm kind of curious when the 53 is going to come in. But for the most part, it has paid off for Merritt. Merritt's still sitting in 4th. Not really in threat of losing 4th to the 60 of Michael Nash. As Nelson's starting to come up on a lot of lap traffic. See how much of a fight these guys put up. We're at that 50 to go marker. Yeah, 50 to go here tonight. Still one more pit stop to go for everybody. Excuse me, everybody out there. That gap for the lead has really increased to about 3 to 4 seconds. We'll know here in a bit. Yeah, 3.7 second gap back to second place. Merritt pitting as early as he did is sitting about 2.5 seconds ahead of 5th, Michael Nash. Like I said, I don't think in the next 3 laps so he's in a threat to lose that. That's if he does pit around 75 or 76. Those are doing respectful things, staying high for the leaders. Keep an eye on Nelson, see how he makes his way through all this traffic. Watch you ride on board with him here for a bit. Alright, we are back. As we come back, Willoughby getting into the wall. I think it's the second time he has done that. At a 4, so Nelson has to be a little bit careful here as he gets around his 18 machine. 76. No one has come to pit lane yet. No, I was going to say that. Johnny Brugg in the pit lane. Tyler Merritt in the pit lane. Michael Nash in the pit lane. So everyone pitting as the window opens. A lot more people I thought. Jess Traub come to pit lane as well. So a lot more people came to pit lane as the window opened I thought would. I thought there'd be more people staying out, but that's 4 cars in 1 lap. With the 43 of Dayton Taylor does here. Dayton staying out. If you're Nelson, I'd say come by this time. You got a lot of lap traffic ahead of you. Oh, and almost contact there. Oh, he's going to miss pit lane. It's going to cost Nelson big time. Nelson pulling a Denny Hamlin at Darlington, missing pit lane. A very rare mistake out of that 125 machine. That's going to cost him a lot of time, as he almost came to a complete stop. Go back and watch that there by the 125, and let's get a far chase view of this. See exactly what happened there. I don't think there was contact between Wilby and the 125. There might have been a little bit, but he just couldn't get slowed down in time. Oh, did he miss pit lane here? No, he did get slowed down. That mistake right there could be the race. Dayton Taylor's going to take back over the lead some more laps here tonight. Last time he led laps was before he pitted. Wow, that was a shocking mistake there by Nelson. Said, I don't know if contact was made between 18 and the 125. If so, it was very slight. Well, something happened there that caused Nelson to miss pit lane. And a mistake like that's going to cost you a lot of time, especially with how much he slowed down. He probably lost, I would say, 5 to 7 seconds right there. Oh, close call with Brugg, too. So he pitted with about 4.5 second gap on Brugg, and that gap, off of what I'm seeing, is now about 3.5 seconds. 40 laps to do. If anyone can make up that gap, it's that 125 machine. But this will be the first time we see him in chase mode behind the one machine. Can he get the pass complete? We saw Brugg struggle a couple times on the low line. Take a look at some sectors. Brugg also know it's go time here. Whoops, wrong one. That's what I want. I mean, Nelson can be able to close the gap for sure. The question is, can he complete the pass? It is about a 3.5 second gap to Johnny Brugg. 39 laps to go here tonight. Pit stops are done pending a caution. He made up a 10th that lap alone. And we saw him get about a 3-second gap onto Brugg. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be another shootout between Brugg and Nelson. Yep, there's the gap right there, 3.4 seconds. Another good battle we got going on here. Dalton. I keep saying Dalton. Dayton. Dayton Taylor and Tyler Merritt. They worked their way around Gibertson, who has yet to come to pit lane. He's staying out hoping for a caution. Merritt having a really good run here tonight, though. Usually we see Merritt struggle in the later runs, but he's putting up a good show. Currently sitting in fourth, trying to lock himself in that first podium finish at the I started broadcasting here in the No Toad Racing League. That gap now 3-5. I don't know if Nelson has anything for Brugg. Gibertson coming to pit lane after you complete the pit stop cycles. Go ahead and take a look at everybody's pit strategy here. Some guys not showing up yet. Check that out in a bit. That gap's actually increasing now. Right now to a 3.7 gap. Dixon must have been caught speeding because Dixon was having a really good race. Oh! squeezing him down there. I was an aggressive passer for the 45 on a lap car. Kind of squeezing him down. Yeah, Dixon had to get caught speeding at one point. How about this? Good old TJ Warren was like, I'm just hoping for a top 10. Well, you're sitting in the top 10. You got the leader right behind you, but pretty good race so far here for that 6 machine. Now we'll pull it up. So Nelson on 3-lap newer tires, but with that mistake coming to pit lane, he lost a lot of time to Brugg. I was right. It was about 5 to 7 seconds he lost to Johnny. Nelson's only hope is now Johnny Brugg gets held up behind some lap traffic here. So Johnny Brugg still leading the way. About 30 laps of racing to go. Nelson wants to catch up. He has to kick that car into high gear and go. Not a lot of time to make up 3.5 seconds. He basically has to average a 1/10 of a lap faster. But the one thing benefiting Nelson right now is Brugg's catching up to 2 slower cars. Not sure how much they're going to try to hold him up. DJ staying high for Brugg. That did slow him down a little bit. Nelson able to gain about a 1/10 on that corner alone. That's what Nelson needs. Nelson needs to average that 1/10 of a second a lap. One we haven't talked about too much tonight is 010 Matt Forns, currently sitting in 7th, having a really good quiet race. Had a close call earlier, and he's looking for a top 10 here tonight. Matt Forns, you kind of know, as a super speedway king in another league I run with him in, and this ain't your typical super speedway, but you can come across a top 10, he might be able to keep that nickname. Keep an eye on that gap between the leader and the second place, now down to 3.4 seconds. That's what I wanted. Yeah, you see Nelson really starting to make up some time now on Brugg. Gained almost a 10th in Sector 1 alone. 25 to go. 24 this time by. I'm almost wondering if Brugg's kind of stopped pushing it and kind of started saving his stuff for when Nelson does catch up. He gained almost 2/10 that lap. At this pace, Brugg will get... Not Brugg. Nelson will get caught up to Brugg. 1-7 that time, that sector. Nelson really starting to close that gap. One, two, so another 2/10 seconds. Almost 3/10 gain that time. Not too much gain that time by that sector, actually, I should say. The 7/1000 is all Nelson could gain. Gotta wonder if Brugg's starting to slow down, if he's just starting to manage that lead, trying to get to where if Nelson does catch up, he still has tires to duke it out with them. Nelson gaining 2/10 in Sector 1. This rate, he's probably going to catch him with about 10 to go. Maybe more than that. Maybe probably like 12 to go. 3/10 gain that time by for Nelson. One thing going to be hurting Nelson, though. Nelson's starting to catch up to some lap traffic. Behind the sixth is Warren. Warren's holding that bottom line. Nelson going to lose a little bit of time here in Sector 2. Not as much time as I thought he would. Gap now 2-4. As you just tuning in, 20 to go here. The No Toad Racing League Cup Series. This thing has gone green to checker. Not green to checker, my apologies. It has gone green so far. You know, tracking everyone kind of spread out here. Nelson had a mishap entering pit lane, allowed Brugg to take the lead, and now Nelson's in chase mode. 19 to go, that gap coming to that 2-second mark. I'm going to be curious if Nelson has enough time. I mean, he just gained almost 2/10 right there in Sector 1. There it goes, under 2 seconds right here. One thing hurt Nelson, though. Brugg has clean track in front of him. Nelson still has 2 lap cars to get around. He handles a 43 here. Not 43, 84, I mean. No, he has 3 lap cars in front of him. A gap, though, coming to just under half a second and a half. I mean, even with lap cars getting out of the way, it can still affect your drive off. You can lose time on drive off. It can affect your entry. You can lose quite a bit of time with lap cars. He's catching them though. Right there. Forms went bottom and then went high. Might have cost Nelson a little bit of time here. Let's see what Sector 2 looks like. Yeah, see Sector 2, he only gained 3/100ths of a second. Nelson's definitely faster than Brugg. I just don't know if he can be able to get around him. Right here, Gibbs on that Highline corner exit, going to slow him down a little bit. Actually slowed him down quite a bit. That's the first time we've seen Brugg have a faster sector in really about 10 laps or so. Now there's nothing but clean track in front of him. Between him and the one, gap down, now down below his second. I was right. He's been catching about 12 to go. I don't think lap traffic is going to come into effect the rest of this race, which is going to make this race for the lead very interesting. As far as I know, like none of them have like teammates that are willing to help them out. I think they're actually in a Discord call together. Check that real quick. Yeah, they're actually in a Discord call together. He's there. They're both within. Seeing both in the screen. $11 to go. Nelson has caught up to Brugg. The question is he going to be able to get around him? Lap traffic is one thing. To pass for the lead, that's a whole nother thing. And Brugg's one of those guys that can make that car 4 lanes wide. And Nelson's the same way. They both can make those cars very wide. Probably a chess match now. If Brugg has tires to compete. Yeah, there goes Nelson down low. Brugg, though, going to have the outside line. I think Nelson's going to get him here. Don't bashes Brugg into the wall. Side by side they go. Door to door. Going into turn 3. Nelson... Brugg might be looking for a crossover here. No. Brugg just doesn't have anything for Nelson here. 9 to go. Nelson back to the lead. Yeah, Brugg's just overdriving it. Nice. He can get a little loose there in corner entry. I don't know how Nelson does it. This man is playing on a Logitech wheel. He has more talent in his fingernail than I do my whole body. So 8 to go. Really no battles going out on track. Looks like it's going to be another Cup Series race going green to checkered. I don't see any possibility of a caution happening. I don't see any really battle for position going on track. Actually, as I say that, Loxon starting to catch up to the 84 of Schmidt, which is really a 23. This be the battle for 7th here. Nelson, pending no cautions. If he can pull this off, he'll be the Denny Hamlin. I can't remember what year it was, but Denny Hamlin overshot pit. I think he did it 2 years in a row, actually. Overshot pit lane, still won the dang race at Darlington. I think. I know he did it once. For sure. If you're in chat and you can help me out with that. I want to say he's done it once. Here comes Loxon looking for P7 on the 84. Schmidt gonna try to... I thought I was gonna try to block him. I think otherwise. Into the outside, Loxton to the inside, coming out of turn 2. Loxton's going to have the drive off, going to clear him as they go into turn 3. Loxton with a nice recovery. All the way back to, I believe P14 has recovered the 7th place. Oh! 84 Schmidt hard to the outside wall at the exit turn 4. 4 to go this time by. I'm not seeing any battles out on track. I think the next battle would be the 16 and the 010 Matt Forns. With 4 to go, I don't know if Williams will be able to catch him in time. Now, Williams does have a lot fresher tires, I believe. We take a look at their tire strategy. Not about 6 laps. Not a lot. Back to the leader down the backstretch, going through 3 and 4. Going to get the cross sticks this time by. 2 to go here at Nashville. Two to go, and Nelson wants to get this lap done in a hurry. He wants to see that white flag. White flag flies, nothing will end the race. Does not want to see a caution right here. Lawrence has lost the spot to Williams. Rolling to 3 and 4. Get this white flag. White flag is out. 1 to go here. Nelson's a 2.5 second gap to put this thing on cruise control and collect himself his 5th win of the season. Or probably wishing this race was 10 laps shorter, or wishing he could have figured out a way to save his tires. Nelson did a really good job making up 3.5 seconds after missing pit lane. Going to collect the win here tonight. There is no stopping this man. We're going to come across P2, Dayton Taylor. Come across 3rd. I believe his first race. Tyler Mayer, after short pitting that first pit stop, make him a lot of spots, going to get himself a top 5, as well as our points leader, Michael Nash. He's going to come across the line 5th. Nothing going to burn it down. Hard fought victory there for Benjamin Nelson. What is he doing? What a race. Well, while we wait for these guys to get in podium finishers, go ahead and re-watch the winning move of the race. Here it is right here. Whoops. That worked. Go ahead and pull up our second place finisher, Mr. Johnny Brugg. What is going on?
Hey, how's it going, Isaac?
Hey man, I don't know if that rocket ship ran out of gas or what, dude, but you got the lead. Nelson made a mistake entering pit lane. What happened there? Just couldn't save the tires, or were too conservative and allowed him to close the gap?
Yeah, no, I didn't run out of gas. It ran out of tire, specifically the right front. Um, yeah, I think I just burnt the right front trying to get away from Ben, like increase the 3-second gap. But I think he pit a couple of laps after me, and yeah, I hardly ever run this car. The only time I ever run it is when I am able to get in here. So he already knows how to save tires better than I do, but he definitely does in this car. So he just ran out of tire.
Yeah, man, we've seen you guys duke it out Monday nights. Kind of surprised to see you coming here tonight and still have a chance to duke it out. Um, is there like anything you regret during that race, like maybe pushing it too much, trying to increase the lead, or anything you wish you had done differently?
I mean, maybe run a little more conservative after that last pit stop, but I mean, he kept even with me um, that whole time, even when I was pushing. So I really think I did what I could. I don't feel bad about the race. I ran the best race I could. Uh, just got beat fair and square.
All right, man. Congrats on that P2 and going to New Hampshire tomorrow. So good luck there.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next let's pull in a race winner, Mr. Benjamin Nelson. What is going on?
What's up?
Hey man, first and foremost, pulling a Denny Hamlin here tonight. I don't remember what year he did it. I think he did it 2 years in a row. Missing pit lane, still coming back to win that race. What happened on that pit injury? I don't know if there was contact between you and the 18 or if you just overshot it.
Yeah, I didn't call it out, and he ran into the back of me, but that's not really his fault. I didn't call it out. I didn't think he would be behind me because I thought he was going to go to the high side, but he did get into me. That's kind of why I missed it there. But I could tell that it didn't hurt too bad. I lost a couple of seconds there, but I needed to take the fast repair because I wasn't sure that I got damage in that. But it was um it was like 3-4 seconds maybe I lost there from missing it.
It was a total of 5 or so. Pitted with about a no, it was almost 7. You pitted with a 3.5 second
Oh,
gap and came out 3.5 second gap.
oof. Well,
But man, talk us through that race and how you're able to chase down that one machine with those closing laps.
well, after that incident, I pretty much knew that if I pushed, there was no way I was going to catch him. Like, it's just too hard to push the tires that long and for them to hold on throughout the whole run. And it was pretty much the entire fuel run we had to go. So I was like basically thinking right when I was in my pit stall, I was like, okay, I got to save here. If I save, I have a chance to catch him, I think. But that was only if I saved better than him. So that was the gamble I played because usually it's like, okay, I want to go because I'm 4 seconds behind or something, but it it wasn't gonna work. I knew it, so I had to save.
All right, man. Well, you get your 5th win here tonight. This season, I think you've gotten 10 total since you came into this series. Um, man, next time we go race into Atlanta, we saw you come up one spot short last time. What are your thoughts going into 2 weeks from now?
Well, it's a super speedway. Uh, it's just a toss up, but that track's a little bit more about strategy than most other super speedways. So staying in the front is a really big deal there because it's so hard to get back to the front when you lose your spots, unlike Talladega and Daytona. But it's gonna be fun. It's just gonna be keeping your car clean and not messing up pit stops if we had green flag pit stops.
All right, man. Congratulations on yet another win here tonight in the Cup Series, and wish you luck tomorrow night if we go short track racing and Gen 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
All right, man. Later.
Thank you. Like,
Alright, well, that will conclude tonight's broadcast here at Nashville Superspeedway. Benjamin Nelson playing the catch up game, making up 3.5 seconds, really in about 25 laps or so. Chasing down that one machine of Johnny Verrugg. You saw that replay going while we were talking to him passing Verrugg for the lead. Move of the race to win the race. Once he got that lead, he just checked out and never looked back. Tomorrow night we will be going short track. I guess you can call it. I know it's not classified as a short track, but it's a short track. It's New Hampshire. It's flat, heavy braking. You gotta be easy on a throw on a corner exit in this Gen 4s, and it's gonna be an interesting one.